Hello everybody, it's Antiquated Homework Z, and today I am coming with you with a tier maker video. So, Season 7 just released, Murphic Boy won, and is deemed the ultimate all-star. But, it's important to take a look back on our previous seasons before we go into this new generation. Now, we've got a ton of characters that we have to go over, but we all have to start at the beginning. So, first off, there's a couple things I want to point out. You might see here we have Noob. This is a stand-in for Fave, who is now officially being retconned into being Noob because Fave is a horrible person. So, any future appearances of Noob will technically be his first, but, you know, still technically a veteran, but whatever. So let's start with Mario. So Season 1 is a bit of a kind of bad season. Nothing really interesting happened, especially not with the Mario brothers. Let me get Luigi. Like, these guys did nothing. I'm gonna give Luigi C tier because he did get to the merge. Cody did nothing the entire time. Probably deserves another chance at some point. Now's not that time. I should make a tier on its own for Season 1 Shrek. But, whatever. Nickel did alright. I know Nickel got out early, right? And then Baseball did nothing. So, yeah, pretty much. And then the South Park characters did kind of crappy. Bart, unfortunately, just didn't really have time to shine. I think Steve was pretty interesting, if I remember correctly, because he and Noob were beefing the entire time, and I thought that was fun. I think Cleveland Jr. is the only A tier of this cast. You didn't really do much. Ed didn't really do much. Tom kind of was the main focus, so A. And then Cleveland can get C. So that's Season 1. Season 2. This one's going to be a lot more bottom heavy because most of the characters didn't really do anything unless they made it to the final 14. So, let's just get started. Baseball did nothing. Despite getting second, Matt did pretty crappy. Not crappy, but like, didn't really do enough. I'll say, these aren't ordered, by the way. I should say that. Cleveland didn't really do much other than being the Seth MacFarlane alliance. Bart is a solid A tier for me. Bart was a very close cut from All-Stars. I just didn't know what team that Bart would fit on, so I had to cut Bart. Steve did pretty good. And Nickel got out really early. Shrek did better. Like, I'll say B. Junior didn't do anything. Peter had a Seth MacFarlane alliance, and then he got voted out with 17 votes. It was kind of funny. Harold did pretty good. Lapis didn't really do anything. Giorno was pretty good. Ben was probably one of my favorite contestants in that season. Squidward kind of got out first, didn't really do anything. BMO did actually a lot better than I really thought he did on a rewatch, because BMO wasn't as bad as I thought. I think BMO probably also could have gotten into All-Stars, but Muscle Man had a really fun alliance. Dementio didn't really get a chance to do much. I kind of forget Baldy's there most of the time. Jonesy is a fine winner. Like, he didn't really do too much other than betray Sans at the end. And speaking of, Sans also didn't really do that much, but kind of C tier. Shantae didn't do anything. The F. Cthulhu was just a funny joke pick. Lego Yoda was also a funny joke pick. Simons isn't even a character at this point. Robbie Rodden, same thing with Lapis. Vsauce Michael absolutely was one of the stars of the show. He's someone who I definitely should have brought back because of 2 good placements. I just didn't want to draw him, I'm going to be honest. Fantastrophe is annoying. I hate the joke. Captain Sparkles did alright. Maui did pretty solid, but, like, not that great. PewDiePie kind of didn't really do anything. Silver Koopa didn't really do anything either. And then Thanos is kind of funny for getting Steve out with 1 vote. Season 3. Now this season is a lot more easy to rank fairly, because a lot happened at the beginning, because this is whenever I started tracking the events each season. So, starting off with Nickel. Nickel was a pretty good early antagonist in this season, so I will say B. Baseball did not do anything despite going to the merge and getting decently far. Kyle and Cartman were pretty bad again. Michael was, again, a stellar character. Definitely someone who I should have brought back for All-Stars, but didn't get the chance. Maui did pretty solid, was just a good challenge player. Thanos kind of filled his purpose, but like, it's Thanos, nothing interesting. Dementia was a fun pre-merge threat. I think that Peter caused a good amount of chaos early on. Lapis was way too powerful. Like, I definitely gave Lapis way too much credit in some of the challenges. And I don't... Like, she played around, like, everything. And I don't think that she realistically would be capable of doing all that looking back. Giorno had a fine game. Not as good as Michael, but pretty similar. And Robbie was a lot of fun. Moses was a good, like, friendly alliance member type role. Arthur did not do very much. The point of him was that he is weak and can't do anything. JFK was pretty funny. Nigel did pretty bad this season, and that's why I brought him back. Inspector Gadget was pretty forgettable, all things considered. Stan was a really good player this season. And the Big Cheese, just okay. Ryuko, also just okay. Scott is an easy A tier. Reimu, easy A tier. They both were a really good duo. Mung Dahl was fun in Season 3. Just didn't get a chance to do much. And yeah, Gary, joke character, obviously. Now, starting with Nigel. Nigel did a lot better in this run, and I'm willing to give Nigel A. I let Nigel have All-Stars for this anyways, so. Arthur was meant to be a first boot, so filled that role fine. Ryuko just didn't really do anything. Mung Dahl was a pretty good social player. Mario and Luigi were at least a little bit more interesting than last time. Well, Luigi more so, again, but I'm going to give Mario a tier above his last performance. Ben 10, I liked Ben a lot in this season, just he didn't get really a great chance to go far. Like, he got to merge twice, but, like, he got out early in both merges. Lego Yoda, yeah, also a joke pick, obviously. Not gonna do well. Simaz, this is another case of the Lapis syndrome, where Simaz realistically shouldn't have gone as far as he did, but he kind of did, and I can't really do anything about it. Joke pick. Doofenshmirtz was fun. I wish he got further, but it just didn't make sense for him to. Mr. Incredible was really dumb, but he made a lot of stupid moves. He was really, like, brash. Amity, I feel like, out of all the winners so far that I've ranked, is the most logical one. Like, it makes the most sense for Amity to have done what she did, and, like, with all the strategy she did. Twilight was robbed. Like, Twilight was fun. Should have gotten further. Definitely gonna get another chance at some point. Dan is kind of the same, but less than Doofenshmirtz. Like, Dan is fine, but Dan is also Dan. There's no way Dan wins any season. Don't quote me on that, because Dan might win a season, but for now, I'm not sure. Tord, I kind of just put Tord in. That way I would have at least one of every... I would have every Eddsworld character in. And Tord was the last one that I needed. Grim, absolutely my favorite this season. By a mile. I think Grim is just one of the best players. Della was a close cut for All-Stars. And so was Ben, too. Ben was close to All-Stars. I think that she had a really fun, like, leader-type game. And kind of played off of Amity really well. And I think that she deserves another chance at some point. And now, Rouse was way too nice to go far. Parappa just unfortunately got out way too early. V was also a lot of fun. V is a character I definitely want to bring back at the earliest possible time. Madeline was also a lot of fun. I liked Madeline more than Amity. I think that she had a lot of growth. And I think that she definitely deserved to get as far as she did. I don't know if I'd say she deserved to win over Amity, but she definitely played a great underdog game working with Grimm. Marissa is another character who got out very early that people expected to go far. And I think that Marissa filled that role very well. And I think that she may come back at some point. Vivian, very strong player. I think she had a lot of potential too. She's just interchangeable with Madeline right now. But if Madeline got out over Vivian, these roles would be swapped. They're pretty much the same character in a way. They filled the same purpose. But I still liked Vivian. Knuckles was a lot of fun. I want to bring Knuckles back for another voting season at some point. Hat Kid, another character that definitely wasn't going to get far. Oh, and Phoenix Wright also was kind of robbed, but more so in a way that, it made sense for him to get robbed. Season 5, a lot of this is just kind of going to be basing around the placement and how much I liked the characters, rather than anything they did, because realistically, everyone just did challenges. There was no strategy or anything. I will get the S tier out of the way. Everyone knows that Memorific Boy was one of the best parts of this season, and is very funny. Of the idea where someone is on their own team the entire time, I love that idea. Hitoshi, though, would be low D tier. I like Yon, Kyo, and Glass. They had a really dumb dynamic, but a really fun dynamic, and that's why I ranked them high. Smiling Friends were fine. This is kind of just a choice, but I was I guess I have to put them in. And then I put them in, and they did alright. Panty and Stalking was kind of the same. With the recent announcement of the next season, I felt I had to put them in at some point. Mordecai and Rigby were like that, but also more interesting in a way. If any duo that spawned from this season came in, I think Mordecai and Rigby have the best chance of returning in a future season. The Gex, this was a joke pick. Not a bad one, but it is still a joke pick. Of course, there had to be a Toho character this season. And I like them. I don't think they're the greatest team this season, but, the duo is fun. They had beef with Dan and Chris, and I think that's funny. Speaking of which, they did really good this season. They didn't go super far, but I loved them, because they were, the only team that actually did something strategic-wise. These two were fine. Definitely interchangeable with the Toho characters, but still, they were fun. I like them. This was a really fun team. One of my favorite ones. I love the dynamic that Vanessa and Doofenshmirtz have in Phineas and Ferb. They were fun. They did alright. Fortunately, these two just went way too early for me to rank them any higher. This was a really good team. They never got under 10th place. They always were better than that. So, they were a lot of fun. It was a really clever team idea, and it was everything I could ask for. No, this is another obligation one, but I don't like Rick and Morty at all. These two will probably come back at least once. Every character will have to come back at least once. But this one I am not looking forward to. This was a fun team. Not the greatest one this season, but they had a fun dynamic. Everyone laughed their asses off whenever I showed them this team. They did shit, but they are funny. Another funny one, but, less good. this team was pretty solid. And this team was a lot of fun. They definitely had potential to go a lot further, but when they got out when they did, it just kind of felt like it made sense. Another good team. Like, Junior and Cleveland have come back for the most seasons. Junior's come back for the most seasons. No one else has been in 4 seasons other than Junior. A good joke pick for the first boot. This is kind of an anime that I like. I just wanted to put characters in from that. You know the deal. Same thing, but basically the same amount of interest. This was a stupid team. This was a really dumb team. Like, Nagito crashed a plane with his bad luck. That's how dumb they are. This is a fun one. I like them. They could have gone far, but they also, I don't think they really had anything interesting that would have made them go far. This was a friend recommendation that I was like, I don't really know how to work with these two, so I kind of didn't. This was another fun team. This was before I watched Breaking Bad, and now I've watched all of it and Saul Show. So if these guys come back, they definitely will have a lot more going for them. Syndrome and Mirage, this is an in-joke pick, but like, it's a good in-joke pick. Rouge and Knuckles is also a really fun team. This was another team I really liked. I think these two make for a great dynamic. And then these two, yeah, straight into the fucking D tier with you guys. And then, you guys were pretty good. It felt like they were a little bit immortal in a way. Alright, Season 6. Lightbulb is fine. Lightbulb did really good in the first part, but the second part, she did nothing. F. Oh, people are gonna get mad at me for putting F in here. But no, I like Alphabet Lore a lot. I felt like F was just the best first boot, and now a lot of people got upset at me for putting F so low in the season, and then it just kind of associate bad memories. Peridot was a fun, like, challenge player early on that got out. Luz was a really good social player that got out early. Goro Okachi was fine. I think Lou did everything Goro did, but better. And speaking of names that rhyme with Blue, we have Gru, who was a good challenge beast. Not a character that was really in contention for All-Stars, but I definitely could have saw him getting in. Chris was fun enough for me to put him in All-Stars as an early boot, but, you know, didn't really do too much in the grand scheme of things. Linguini, you did fuck all the entire time. Burgundy was the last member of the Alliance, so it definitely could have been interchangeable who got second place within that alliance between Lightbulb, Luz, and, I wouldn't say they're interchangeable. You know what I mean. I think B tier makes the most sense. Rowlet is funny. Like, a Pokemon that can't communicate with anyone else is funny. This is, like, the best, like, character in sense of, like, joke picks. Sticky Lou, as much as I love Sticky Lou, I think it's kind of unrealistic for him to have cleaned the jury like that. Looking back, I think Lou definitely got a bit of bias put towards him, and he definitely got a bit further than he should have. That double rejoin, I was just like, hey, I think it'd be funny if 2 people rejoined, since we didn't have one in a while. Then Lou came back. 2 robbed. 2 did good. 2 should come back at some point. The fan favorite, the underdog. Looking back, I always say, I think I should have made Charles win. And, you know, maybe I should have. And that's okay. Charles did really good either way. Charles was fun. He went through a lot of character growth from just cheery, optimistic guy. Lost his allies and then lost motivation, but he was able to bring it back up. And then he made it to the final 3. I think he definitely deserved it. This was the worst joke pick of all time, in the best way possible. Bingo? Oh my god. There's no way Bingo should have won all those challenges, but, like, Bingo did really good for no reason. Marble is fine, just not interesting. Party Phil got out too early to be interesting. Captain Underpants, same thing. Kirby, as much as I love Kirby, I don't really think he did good. Darman! Darman was the funniest villain. And then we have Marcy. Marcy is interchangeable with these guys, but has a better challenge edge. Akinator was fun. It was a fun recommendation. I just didn't really see what I could have done with him. Ned was pretty interesting. Decently enjoyable. Puff Puff was pretty fun. He made for a good antagonistic character. I would say A tier. And now we are on Season 7. Now, if you don't want spoilers, turn away. Well, I already said spoilers at the beginning of the video, didn't I? Whatever. Point is, Tom definitely had a really fun early merge role. Like, Tom had made that alliance with Grimm, and that was good, but then it kind of collapsed on itself. Sticky Lou had a lot of fun connections this time, so I'd say generally, I like Lou about as much as I did in the last season. Simaz is kind of retired, the bit's over, it's done. Simaz had his time to shine. I mean, he'll have it again at some point, but whatever. Harold was enjoyable. I liked his little alliance with Flint and Nagito. That was fun. Nigel just didn't get far enough to do well. Grimm wasn't as good as Season 4 Grimm, but still really good. Nagito was funny, but, like, there was no way Nagito was getting really far. Flint was another character, because, like, a lot of the Season 5 returners, like, had a lot more intrigue to them, because they haven't played in a competition like this. Like, they played in a battle to not get last place each round, while this is a more strategic battle. It was fun seeing how Flint did, and I liked his performance. Amity, easy B tier, solid early pre-merge. I mean late pre-merge, but yeah. Lapis filled her role as first boot that you wouldn't expect. That's all I can really say. Stan, I hate to say it, but he was invisible this season. Like, he didn't really do anything. He had an alliance with Reimu and Glass, and that was about it for that. So, I can't really say anything other than this isn't that good. Shrek didn't do that much better either. Sans did pretty good, but he kind of just screwed himself over at the end. Puff Puff made for a fun free-merging antagonist, but, like, not the most interesting one, I don't think. Memorific Boy swept this season, for sure. Definitely deserves S tier. Jonesy also filled the role as early winner boot. JFK also kind of invisible, didn't do much other than win the first challenge. Gumball didn't do much either. Glass was a lot of fun to make. Glass is, like, one of the funniest characters, in my opinion. Like, there's no way that anyone would have expected Glass to go as far as he did, but he did. And I love that. Chris didn't really do anything, just kind of got himself out. Steve was fun. I liked Steve this season. He just kind of minded his own business, and that's okay. He didn't really give a crap. Scott definitely was a potential winner. Like, I don't plan winners ahead of time. The only thing I do ahead of time is get a couple pre-mergers that I think. I kind of get a mindset of what I think the first elimination on each team would go like before I start the season, and then I roll with it. And I just go with what makes the most sense. I'll go into it in my how to make a cartoon elimination order video, but I think Scott definitely was a character I saw going far that didn't go as far as I anticipated. Reimu did pretty solid this season. I don't know if I'd call her S, but she is close. Like, she's a 9 out of 10. When everyone in S is 10 out of 10. Mundal was also a fine early game boot. I can't really ask for much more. Not B tier. C tier is more appropriate. Matt, definitely didn't do much. Madeline! Definitely a character I saw going very far, just like Scott, that didn't. And that's okay, not every character will live up to my expectations, but she did a pretty good job for what she did. She kind of led her social team for most of the game, and it kind of ended up in her getting out pretty early in Merge, but that's okay. Junior, as much as I hate to put Junior low, he didn't really do anything strategic. He got to the end, and that's good for him. I think he deserved it. Ed was fun. I didn't anticipate Ed being the most interesting Edgeworld character to write, but Ed proved me wrong. I think that his social game was good. He was on the minority in the pre-merge, but after he got to merge, he was able to find a lot of allies. Like, even though everyone screwed him over in the end, he was a pretty good alliance manager. Kept things together. Charles got out too soon. Not that I would have changed where he placed, but definitely a character I know a lot of people like that just didn't go nearly as far as anyone would hope. And Burgundy was kind of just meant to be. Like, Burgundy and Lapis and Chris were the first reboots that I kind of knew were happening, and Burgundy, I didn't really see her going far. I didn't see Matt going far. And they didn't. They just didn't really have too much potential going into this season. They did their best in their seasons where it was merge, and you didn't have to rely on challenge placements. But, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, and unfortunately, they are out. But that's the end of the tier list. I will see you guys for the next video. Thank you, and goodbye.